Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him actually, he was crying in there. You were saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on?
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
Quality Fiancé Productions.
Making women gestures like, oh.
Let's go, Jay.
Good morning, TBV, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. It is Thursday, which means it's flagship. We have our previews and prediction show later on tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. That'll be 6 p.m. Central and about midnight UK time. So join us as we break down all this weekend's fights. Young Gervonta Tank Davis is in action over the weekend. Don't forget to join us tonight for Common Creepin' Thursdays on Patreon, as well as tomorrow for our very famous betting show, Beating the Odds with TBV, where we are up. All of our panelists are actually up. Those that chose to bet. We're up so much that Ron is deciding to come out of the non-gamblers, union and start betting along with us. And we are going to have Patrick Day on today at 9:30 a.m. And obviously, it's only fitting that we bring him on as he won all these hosts so much money. We need to allow him to do his victory walk around here and let him know that we believed in him that much that we raked it in. And really, we want to know where he's going next and how can we make some more. But today, we're here to discuss Dominic Breazeale and Dillian Whyte. And it's something that we've been talking about, so I know maybe you're a little bit tired of this, but there's a twist. This is Breazeale this time. He has something to say, and he wants all the smoke with Dillian Whyte. But there is a twist. Stick around for that. You know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. I'm going to get out to my panelists to hail from around the globe. Let's get this thing started.
It's me, Mario.
What up? Yeah, man, busy day today. Got shows lined up, but we're going to do it. We're going to do all of it, do a good job, keep as much enthusiasm as possible for Thursday because there is a lot of stuff to break down. Even though none of the fights this weekend are, I don't know, you know what, I'll say that for Friday. But yeah, Dominic Breazeale, Dillian Whyte, we talked about the idea of this the last couple days. And it was like one of those things where I think as much as we hoped we would see it or maybe we could see it, I don't think any of us thought it was realistic. I don't think any of us thought that Dominic Breazeale would actually put himself in this opportunity. But as we will report today, there is definitely a little smoke where there has been fire. So we'll break that down for sure.
Yo, all I want to say is Mike was out here calling people out and looking for a wheelchair fight. And when we find him one, he don't want to come on the show no more. My man signed up the Border Wars right here. And
what?
Yeah, he signed up the Border Wars and he said he want that sauce with Mike. But I don't think Mike wants any, man. He talking about any man in the wheelchair could get it. All of a sudden now he MIA because my man right here.
It kind of looks like Tyson Fury from the side.
Absolutely not. I see no resemblance in those two. None. I mean, this one's got the C curve back from being slouched over in his chair so long. I don't get why Mike's afraid. But let's get on out to Ron.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
I've been doing this. I ain't been up and fell off. I've been through the Lennox Lewis era, the Nassim Hamed era, the Sugar Shane Moses era, the Oscar De La Hoya era, Marquez Hunter era. I've been through all the eras, and I still been telling.
How much you talking? You do too much talking. The thing is this.
People want their subjective preferences to be the objective reality.
HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
So we went on this whole tangent about what Dillian Whyte should do, and then we went on to what Dominic Breazeale should do to get the people's opinion and people's support in his WBC rankings and mandatory. And it looks like he's putting that out there in the world, saying like, look, I'm looking to fight some Dillian Whyte under some certain terms. So with that being said, we'll pass that over to my boy Doomy, and then we'll get into the specific terms and talk about what needs to be done to make this fight happen.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one to stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Nippy. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. Get up!
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Good morning, TBV in the morning. Got my fresh cup of coffee brewing right now. And we back at it again with the heavyweight division. We've been talking about these guys like Ron mentioned, and it looks like it just might be. It might be happening if it's under the right conditions. What that means, what that translates to, I guess we'll get into it today on the show with you guys.
Yeah, all this is based off of some comments that Dominic Breazeale had in a Boxing Scene article, and everybody keeps talking about the conditions that he has. I really don't know what a lot of these conditions are. He only mentions one thing for sure, but actually, Mike, what is up? I think you are there now. I'll let you get that intro first.
What up, baby?
He got a fresh haircut.
Baby?
He don't know how to act.
What up?
Back in this motherfucker. How y'all been doing, man? I miss y'all, man.
I'm good, man. We miss y'all. I used your intro yesterday, just to keep that spirit live and well.
My dog. But yeah, man, Breazeale and Whyte. Breazeale saying he wants it now. I mean, look here, man. We all knew and we all wanted this fight, so it's not like we all knew that it was going to happen in 420, but it's not still official. But this is like the only other game plan for either other fighter. Like, if you don't want to take a step back and want to stay on that same level, both fighters should fight each other, and the winner becomes the mandatory for the WBC. Those are my opinion.
You're absolutely right. But so Dominic Breazeale said this in the Boxing Scene article. He said, people have talked about it for a while.
The Independent.
Was it the Independent? My bad. I'm sorry. I just opened it up and it came up. Okay, so people have talked about it. People have talked about it for a while. I'm a fan-pleasing type of guy. So if that's what the fans want to see, I'm all for it. Oh, yeah, Breazeale said to the Independent. At the same time, I'm not going to pass up opportunities to fight for the WBC title. To go down there to fight Dillian Whyte, I hope he does make some type of deal. He can come up here to the United States and he can get all he wants of Dominic Breazeale. I guess the whole United States thing is one of those clauses. I'm sure there's others, but he said it plain and simple. Why pass up the opportunity at the WBC to fight Dillian Whyte? What does it do for him versus where he's already at in his career with in line to fight for the WBC? And later in the article, Dillian Whyte makes mention of the fact that he does want that Dominic Breazeale smoke, because that would put him in a position where he beats the mandatory and he can get a crack at Deontay Wilder. And then he also mentions how it's weird that he's the #1 guy in the WBC, and yet Dominic Breazeale is the mandatory, and he wants to know how all that works out. So it's really crazy situation, but plain and simple, they need a fight.
The only thing that I hear in that article that gives me cause to pause, like, why would Dillian Whyte come to America to fight Dominic Breazeale?
Why would Dominic Breazeale go over there?
There's more money over there.
Yo, Dillian wants what Dominic Breazeale has. Dominic Breazeale has the next opportunity at Wilder. So that is his leverage. That is his leverage. And guess what? Dillian Whyte has leverage too. You come to the UK, we could do a pay-per-view. But obviously, Dominic is saying in this article, that ain't interesting to him. What's interesting is waiting in line. And if you want some smoke, well, come on over here. Make a deal over here. Let's do it over here. Because that's his leverage right there. He don't got to draw. He got the next shot. You want that shot? Beat him.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to.
Does he really have the next shot though? Because is he even mandatory?
He's the mandatory, and it hasn't been called yet.
Yep.
So just like the WBO didn't call Dillian Whyte for the mandatory, and he should have on me about 2 weeks ago. He's not technically or officially the mandatory yet.
Remember, I shitted on you.
Exactly.
Let me explain. I shitted on you for wanting Dillian Whyte to wait out the mandatory position. I am not asking.
That's what Breazeale's doing, though.
I am not asking Breazeale to do that.
But he's already doing
I'm not asking Breazeale to do that. Breazeale said he's letting you know in negotiations in public, I can sit around and wait because I got a mandatory position. I'm not about to just go over there for nothing. He got to make the off. He said he got to make a good deal and come to the U.S. and get this smoke. He using in the leverage that he has, and I like it.
They got to pay. I think that he's not going over there unless it's really, really lucrative.
Listen, let me remind you of another similar scenario. When they wanted all that smoke and that IBF belt, they paid $8 million to get it from Charles Martin. I ain't telling you to pay $8 million for this, and I ain't telling you to go to the U.S. either. But the man is using his negotiation power. He's using his leverage. It's up to them to make a sweet enough deal or chuck it over there because that's what you want. The way AJ wanted that belt, and he knew what would come once he grabbed that belt. The same thing AJ is telling these guys. You want a shot at me? Take this low ball offer, and you got a key. You got the keys to the kingdom if you beat me. No, it's not as cool for Dillian Whyte if he beats Breazeale, but at least he has, the lock to the key.
Honestly, I don't think Breazeale has no leverage or no bargaining chips and anything like that. The guy is waiting in line for a WBC title shot that ain't been called yet. It may not even be called because
let me ask you a question.
Exactly. You're absolutely right, Mike.
Might do another one.
Did you think Earl didn't have any leverage when
No, because
let me explain. Because like you, there's many cats was out there. When Earl kept waiting in line, he obviously had leverage because he kept making Eddie Hearn ask for extensions. So much so that the IBF said, no, that's it. You must face him. So what do you mean he don't got leverage?
Has the WBC or Deontay Wilder or Shelly Finkel asked for a exception that been made publicly? Or did the WBC mandate Fury versus Wilder too?
Yes, they did. Yes,
so Breazeale ain't got no motherfucking bargaining chips. He just standing waiting.
It's even better for him. He might
listen. His bargaining chip. Hold on.
He does have a bargaining chip.
No. Okay, and I'll explain what his bargaining chip is. His bargaining chip is thinking that AJ and Wilder's not going to happen. Okay, so Breazeale sitting there in a scenario where he's like not wishing on a star, but he's banking on the fact that Wilder's not going to have anything better to do. Like that's what it boils down to. That's what but that has nothing to do with it. Breazeale and Errol Spence might be in the same position, but they're two different fighters.
But Earl was actually mandated for IBF. Like the IBF told Eddie, "Hey man,
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That's my point.
Okay, sanctions.
I understand that, bro. But after that Triple G fight, they told him like, you got to take this fight next or drop that belt.
Exactly.
And they ended up fighting.
And who put that pressure? Earl, by staying in his mandatory position.
Yes.
So don't tell me that
Breazeale is not mandatory.
Yeah, but we've seen WBC overlook guys. Guys, listen, you're telling me that Errol Spence has, or you're telling me that Dominic Breazeale brings the same kind of smoke that Errol Spence does? No way.
What about Triple G?
Those are different fighters than Dominic Breazeale.
He wasn't the A side, and they mandated that. Stop it, guys. Listen
to me. You are not going to compare Dominic Breazeale to Triple G. It's not going to happen.
In what way, though? In what way are we not?
You're just saying like things don't compare, but these are
in what way?
These are analogies. Like break down why it doesn't compare. Like
it doesn't compare because Triple G was in a situation where writers and the public were forcing a situation. Nobody's demanding now Dominic Breazeale and Wilder get in the ring. Earl Spence is the same situation. There was a column broken down in ESPN, or not ESPN. I'm sorry, it was I don't even remember now. It might have been Boxing Scene calling for that fight. That's not the same thing that's happening now.
Favoritism is not how mandatories are set. If that's the case, then things would be totally different. Trust me. Ocampo, number 1 mandatory. Errol Spence, was that the fans wanted that?
Exactly, bro. These guys are just trying to grab on the stupidest point, like to say that Breazeale doesn't have any fucking leverage when he's the mandatory, regardless of when it gets called. When it does, it is him they are calling.
No. I'm not arguing he has no leverage. I'm arguing that he might not get the fight. I'm arguing he might not get the fight this year. That's all I'm saying.
Let it be clear that I still believe it's going to be Povetkin. I'm not dumb. Eddie's done business with Povetkin. He's brought him back for a reason. It's Povetkin. Dominic Breazeale is to do this. Get the U.S. media writing about Dillian Whyte to make the Povetkin fight more relevant.
Exactly.
Reporting on the news because I love
I agree.
So
this is a news. So this is a news move. This is like I guess what do they call it?
Profile
publicity.
Yeah. Publicity stunt. It's like I'm gonna go ahead and push for this, get the crowd interested, but I don't really want to give this guy this fight. I want to just can't garner more attention so that I can make another fight. And these are the new age shadow realm tactics that these promoters are using.
Let me tell you something. Eddie Hearn came out and said that Dillian Whyte is going to do a pay-per-view in the O2 or whatever on April 13th. Listen to the names. Versus Dominic Breazeale. Mandatory to Deontay Wilder, has a position at a second title shot after already losing to AJ. Why would he take the risk unless it's a boatload of cash? Luis Ortiz, he mentioned, who's already signed to fight in March on an all-Cuban card. How would he be ready in less than 30 days for April 13th? And then he says Alexander Povetkin. No one is stupid enough not to think it isn't Alexander.
Now going back to what you guys are talking about, like the fans. I want to attack Mario.
Not you guys. Preference it. Mario said the fans and all that bullshit.
It's a me.
What did I say with the fans?
So let me go after like Bermain Stavern was a mandatory that we didn't ask for. We didn't want. Step aside money was placed, and we still had to get that fight forced through. Now.
But you're bringing up different. You're bringing up different metaphors than what they were bringing up. I was trying to say what was different in Earl Spence's situation and Triple G situation compared to Breazeale. I wasn't talking about any other situation.
But I'm just
Don
talking about how
King got away with
what
the
I'm trying to
WBC.
say is
definitely.
I'm talking about the simple fact that it's flawed. Like you're saying, like it doesn't work that way when we just seen the WBC put Bermain Stavern number 1 after losing. Then who did he beat to make his way back there?
Absolutely, 100% correct.
So at this point, like you can't say this is far-fetched. And you also got to think, Breazeale has to think leverage. Okay, if he can get a Dillian Whyte fight onto Showtime for their networks and provide viewership, that's going to be something that benefits him more. Than
Dillian Whyte was able to be on Showtime without Breazeale.
Which it could still be pay-per-view because we'll be doing a second show, so we're not going to waste too much time on this, but we'll be doing another heavyweight show on AJ receiving a very lucrative offer to fight in the U.S., which states that that fight between AJ and Miller will be a UK pay-per-view. So if Dillian Whyte comes to the US, fights on Showtime, he can still do a UK pay-per-view, especially since his nemesis is Anthony Joshua, and Dominic Breazeale has only lost to Joshua. Mike, you can move your head.
Yeah, can I mean, let me speak, man. Let me speak, man.
Speak. Won't you say something relevant?
Hopping in right now.
Man, White doesn't have the fucking star power AJ has. So saying that people are gonna get up at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning to watch White, I don't know, man. And AJ's numbers probably will be affected from the LA pay-per-view. So I don't know how feasible it is for White and Breazeale to be a pay-per-view in the UK while the fight is going to happen in the US. Like, I just don't understand why White will come. He's probably over there laughing, right? But when I come to the U.S. and fight you,
I'm gonna tell you why he'll come and why he ain't laughing, because he told Eddie in his face, "I seen the money. I spoke to Espinoza." Eddie said, "Oh, you seen it? They showed it to you in the bag, mate." He said, "No, but I seen all I had to see." So you be quiet.
No.
Where the money at?
So they gonna pay a guy who fought one time in the U.S. versus Derek Rossi on Terrence Crawford undercard, but we're gonna give him a big payday to come fight in the U.S. Brother, but nobody knows him.
They wasn't.
What AJ did, AJ did like 400,000 when he fought Takam over here.
They wasn't courting him for no reason.
They court him because he's a player in the heavyweight division, and they need heavyweight.
And they're invested in the heavyweight division.
But they need fodder. But Mike is saying that for just this person, what are you going to pay? Is he going to get more in the UK, or is he going to get more here with Showtime? Like, that's the point that Mike's making, and I agree with that.
Let's not forget the huge effort that DAZN has made in the 160-pound division. Why can't another entity make the same effort in another division? Why is Mike believing that one guy isn't?
Man, we got a super chat from my Jack is the Truth. A UK resident. A UK resident.
So you just gonna talk?
Why are you just yelling super chat during his thing?
Like, I got him. I can do that too. I could do it too. It's all good.
No, let him finish his thought before you say a super chat.
Got no fucking argument.
One thing I can say about this fight is that, you know, we've known White to be a UK fighter. I mean, he's only fought in the United States one time. So, you know, seeing that in his record, I mean,
he's fought in the U.S. once, but he's fought on US television more than once.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's hard to believe if I'm going to believe that he's going to fly over here and fight Breazeale on the United States. I think they're going to offer Breazeale something very, very, very good, man, because it's just not in his track record. I mean, he's a UK fighter, and then they don't bring him over here. So, I mean, something that Dillian Whyte might
brought him over. They brought him over for Manny Pacquiao Broner, and he got all that American exposure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he needs it. It would be great for him to come over here and fight Breazeale.
Eddie sweated so much, he said, "I got you, baby. Don't worry. We're going to give you another pay-per-view."
I think it'd be a better idea for Eddie to push for Whyte to fight in the States, because in the long run, it would just be so much better for his career, in my opinion, because the exposure that he would get to this crowd, he'll get a heck of a lot of backing if
how much bigger would that fight be if all of a sudden he beats Breazeale, and we all know he wants to rematch with AJ? It's part of the storyline, bro.
And outside of that, you have to think from this point too.
Ron, let me one moment try and attempt to do what Mike couldn't do with the super chat from Jack. He says, "Laugh out loud. We won't pay to see White at 4 a.m. to fight Breazeale, bum ass." Like, Jack the Truth all of a sudden represents the entire UK, when we know you guys are so many sheep over there. Please, 30,000 of you came to fucking watch Ricky Hatton get slaughtered. Like, I would have known. I wish I would.
Ricky Hatton.
You compare Ricky Hatton.
Let me do it, Ron.
If I would do it, Ron.
That is such a different fight.
If I was TSA that day, I would have told all 30,000 people no. Every time I wanted one down, you're here for Mayweather Pac. No. Turn around, please. We'll get you your money back. Go back home. Don't be stupid.
You mean Ricky Hatton Pacquiao?
All right, Mike. You obviously want to say this the most.
Mayweather's the one left check, hooked his ass into.
Oh, you said Mayweather Pacquiao. I'm sorry.
Oh no, but go ahead, Mike. Mike, you asked for it. You asked.
We had an old co-host on here named UK Rob, and he said that Ricky Hatton is like a fucking sports icon over there, and he's like one of the biggest sportsmen over there. So comparing Hatton to White, man, like the fan base and 30,000. Come on, man.
Well, hold on, not even that. Hold on. Like,
I'm not saying White is gonna bring 30. I'm saying that 30,000 dummies believed in Ricky Hatton. That's what the fuck I'm saying. UK Rob is just a dummy. He's one of the dummies.
Well, hold on. Stop.
Man, you're crazy.
Hold on, no. Let me say it, because you guys been taught. Look, let me explain that, and I'll go into my other here.
30,000 people thought that
Mayweather.
How many people are going to believe Dillian Whyte will beat
Mayweather, Pacquiao, or fights you want to go see? Just like if Deontay Wilder went to the UK, Americans would go there. This is a different fight. It's not just Ricky Hatton. It's Ricky Hatton versus Mayweather. Ricky Hatton versus Manny Pacquiao. Regardless if you think he would win or lose, it's against Mayweather, Pacquiao. These are the biggest fights of the year.
So you're saying that doesn't count because these UK fans possibly just came because it's Mayweather, because
It's the big. It was the
because
biggest
they was on a
pay-per-view.
different level.
Yeah, you can't compare.
They didn't believe in Ricky Hatton, is what you're saying. They just came for the event.
No,
You're not listening to Ron.
You're not listening. It's not just Ricky Hatton. It was Ricky Hatton versus Mayweather. Ricky Hatton versus Pacquiao.
Ron, I don't know if you guys are misunderstanding me, okay? I am in no fashion saying Dillian Whyte brings 30. Again, what I'm saying is Ricky, who was an underdog, obvious to the naked eye was going to lose to both men, was still able to fool 30,000. So Dillian will do some sort of numbers. Some people will come with him.
It ain't even a fool. It's just the nature. It's the nature of the UK. The UK nature of supporting their fighters.
Floyd beat the shit out of Hatton, and then they turned around and gobbled up Mayweather, Hatton, Pacquiao. Like, what the fuck? Why would you do that?
It was Mayweather. Everybody wanted to see Mayweather.
I just don't understand that concept. Like,
I understand it. Mayweather did it first. He outclassed him. He hit him with the left hook. Homeboy ran into the turnbuckle. He was out.
All right.
Then again is what I'm saying. If you're a UK fight fan, why would you all of a sudden believe that Ricky's somehow going to now beat Pacquiao, who back then was alleged to beat?
It's the blinding effect of the national pride, bro.
That was the guy that beat Mayweather. So somehow Mayweather beats Ricky Hatton, and he still fools more people to come and believe that he's going to beat Pacquiao. And that's what I'm saying.
Everybody loses to Mayweather.
Gullible over there. The Dillian will attract a fan base. He will bring them, and it will be worthy.
But didn't Hatton fight Pacquiao at 40, right?
I have no clue, bro.
And then Mayweather fought him at 147. The narrative was that.
Did you box rec this? Because for you to just throw out those numbers like that.
My only point was that everybody was down on that Mayweather Hatton. All the fans were saying, oh, well, Hatton lost because it was at 147. It was at 147. Like, that was the whole thing. Plus, it was Mayweather. Like, everybody loses to Mayweather, just like Mike said. Like, you're not going to say, oh, well, he lost to one guy. Like, we'll never give him a shot again. As a national hero, you pay to see those shots over and over. Just because Michael Jordan loses on Monday don't mean everybody's not going to pay to see him on Thursday.
And Floyd Mayweather was training him. Like, that fight was huge too in a sense. And Pacquiao wasn't the biggest commodity at those weight classes too. And Ricky Hatton just losing to Mayweather still sells a good story because you got Pacquiao who's coming up. Mayweather's gone, retired. Can Pacquiao do better than Mayweather against Ricky Hatton? Like, come on, you can't even compare.
Bro,
those are spectacles,
the fact
bro.
that y'all not running with the UK public buying up a UK dude that's daring to be great, not sitting around waiting for a mandatory to call and going to fight a former American Olympian that is also a barometer fight with his nemesis. I don't get it, but we'll see.
No, let me switch on you.
Let
me switch on you because
Cal down and debated with Coogan that Brazil was worthy. Okay,
to be a what?
No,
to be a what though?
Eddie said,
whoa! Don't just say that, man. To be a what though?
Pay-per-view B-side
for where?
For the UK.
Thank you.
Okay, but he still is looking at him over everyone else. So the issue is only going to be the same issue Brazil has. You want me to go over there? You better make a good deal. If not, go to the US and get all this smoke.
He's not going over the US.
And you better make a good deal.
Real quick, I'm not trying to be petty, but I'm going to be petty. I'm going to go back to that last topic, and I'm going to switch over. Kawasaki and Bernard Hopkins was a prime example of a person who came over from the UK, wasn't expected to win, and outperformed him, and won that fight. So you just can't simply say that the blind nationalism always affect because the spectacle of the fight is stuff of who they face, and that helps because Kawasaki and Hopkins was a huge fight.
Brother, you are bugging, man. You just reading history. You not watching boxing.
Whoa, don't just right
I was wrong about that though.
You telling me Kell Brook, the public didn't gobble up Carson Jones trilogies? Come on, stop it, Ron. You know how they are. Stop it. I'm telling you.
But that was in the UK.
But Jeff Lacey versus Kawasaki wasn't a prime example.
Proving Mario. Listen, I don't know how my arguments get lost. No, my only debate is lesser UK men, right, have brought attention to an American fighting a UK guy. Dillian Whyte, who's perceived warrior over there, does it, It's gonna get awareness. Let's stop arguing that it won't. That's just insane. It's insane for you to say that Dillian Whyte, who's been doing so good after his loss to AJ, is gonna decide to make a U.S. debut on a premium network, and the UK are gonna say, "Nah, that's whack. Oh, fuck him. You guys are crazy."
Bro,
Like, what did he do wrong? What did he do wrong for people to jump off the bandwagon all of a sudden?
He didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
It's just a fact.
I just think that it's you're talking about comparable situations, and that's fine. But I think that you got to understand there are differences. It's like, are we going to stay up and we're going to watch, Mayweather Hatton or, whatever? Because you're talking about America. So are these guys going to stay up for a Dillian Whyte, Dominic Breazeale? If he was fighting Wilder, perhaps that fight would go all for it. But it's Breazeale.
I think the UK is hardcore enough that they'll stay up.
People stood up for Lee Selby, bro.
They'll stay up. I'm not saying that, but I don't necessarily think that they would travel over here.
Bro, they travel.
Listen,
they travel for Ricky Hatton.
They travel. They travel, bro.
Why are you hanging up on it? I just mentioned that. I never said in any fashion that Breazeale and Whyte are going to sell out a stadium.
I'm not saying that, but like if you're Dillian Whyte,
showing how much the boxing fans in the UK appreciate boxing. Like, I'm not saying Dillian's coming over to sell out a stadium. It ain't about stadiums over here. We don't never sell out stadiums. We sell out little arenas, and 17,000 tickets equals more money than stadiums. That's how it works over here.
In my honest opinion, I just don't think Whyte in Breazeale would be this. It just wouldn't. I just don't think.
It wouldn't be Whyte coming to America fight.
The problem. Here's the thing. Showtime's going to need fights on their networks. And Adam, I think from Sky, is going to put a lot of pressure on Eddie to make more fights because Eddie's invested everywhere now. He's in the zone.
Homie, that's why the answer is pay-per-view. That's why the answer is pay-per-view. Showtime wants heavyweights. Sky needs content. It's simple. The answer is pay-per-view. Dillian brings his ass to America. Because look, the zone already passed on Dillian. Dillian already knows his worth, and Showtime showed him already. Yo, we like you. The zone doesn't want. We want you. What you guys are? I mean, look. You know what?
Let me ask you one last question.
Time, but not pay-per-view.
Let me ask you one last question.
Not a pay-per-view fight.
No. Yeah, man, let's say that it is, Ron. Fuck it. Let's say that fucking Dillian Whyte.
Play that. I'm not gonna agree with
okay.
it.
Yeah, just let's play that game. Go ahead, Mike.
Breazeale versus Whyte is a pay-per-view over in the States. How many buys does it do?
Brother,
I knew he was going there. That's why I was like,
how many buys does it do?
And that's fine because my answer is going to be K2 Promotions, HBO, Gennady Golovkin, Daniel Jacobs, David Lemieux, Golden Boy. All those people were okay with their 170 for Triple G and those men.
I don't even think you do 170.
Let me tell you who else was happy. Andre Ward, who just retired and still teases people, but he sure looks happy. He was happy with under 170, 190. So
I think the difference there, Ness, is they had a plan for Triple G and Canelo. They knew that they were heading towards this massive event versus Dillian Whyte. Where's the massive event for America?
Who are fighting on U.S. soil and U.S. TV.
And those numbers, listen, those are pay-per-view numbers in the U.S., okay? We're talking about Dillian Whyte selling his pay-per-view still to the UK.
Didn't Ward get a guarantee, though, regardless if it flopped or not? He was happy because he got paid a
Rock
lot.
Nation.
From Rock Nation. From Rock Nation.
Overpaid them, too, because they ain't make their money back.
Come on.
So maybe if a person's paid generously and then the pay-per-view doesn't do great, well, whatever. I won and I got paid. Like, that's what's up.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
And for Showtime, why wouldn't they be willing to bring Dillian over here? It's up to Dillian to negotiate with Eddie and Sky a UK pay-per-view.
I don't think HBO was happy with the views, though. I'm just saying my honest opinion.
Let's be honest, man.
No. Since you want to be honest, Ron, so why would you continue to do pay-per-views with Triple G? Explain that to us in the casuals. Go ahead.
Well, HBO is definitely not around because if it was substantial enough, it would keep going besides just getting Canelo and Gennady.
They fucked up.
Excuse me, Ron. Their investment into Gennady Golovkin led to 1-point-something million pay-per-views. Outside of Mayweather Pacquiao, you can't even say that. So if they're HBO, they did a great job. They did that. Because name another time that Canelo did over $1 million without Triple G. Oh, shit. He did it with fucking, Julio Bum Chavez. Damn it.
I was ready to get you.
You wasn't ready. I helped you.
No, you didn't. I was just staring like, where you going with this? HBO ain't even around. Like, and we can't even
go credit at all.
Listen, their investment into this guy paid off, I believe. I believe it paid off. Triple G, listen, he's being offered $45 million for 2 fights. Come on.
But where HBO at?
Ron is salty. Ron is salty, and he sounds
biased. Where HBO at? Where they at? No. Where they
got that big Game of Thrones.
And when I first put out my interview with my man Peter Nelson, I told y'all HBO was going on. Ain't nobody believe me, just like y'all don't believe this. But I me and Dylan on the same page. He about to make Brazil a pay-per-view UK. You'll see.
But I'll tell you this though. Bringing White over here to do a main event, regardless if you think pay-per-view or not, versus Dominic Breazeale wouldn't be bad. But for pay-per-view, my honest opinion, I think pay-per-view should be building towards casuals or casual fans in general.
Dude, I think the Showtime and the writers would do such a great job with this storyline. The fact that Dillian wants Wilder so bad, he's going to go through his mandatory to force it. You know, the fact that the winner truly deserves a shot. We will feel, you know, happy to see the winner face. Like, because if Dillian goes through him like, yo, like right now, I wouldn't mind Dillian Whyte because I see the left hook. I want to see what it does on Wilder. But I'm not dying for it. I'm dying for Wilder Fury, Wilder AJ. You know what I'm saying? Dillian Whyte can still make a case by going through Breazeale and Luis Ortiz for me to be like, nah, I want that. Like, if he would have went through Luis Ortiz, because we seen Luis in there with Wilder, it would have made the case better. But if he's going through Breazeale, we seen him in there with AJ, so it makes the case better. I'm just a true boxing fan. That's all. I'm just
probably tell you what's end up probably gonna happen. If Showtime gets that Dillian Whyte fight, you're probably gonna see it on Showtime platform like they always do, YouTube it or on their main network. And then that fight is on 420. And I got Ron G broke some news that Sam Watson said that the Danny Garcia fight will be on 420. So that will probably lead into that Danny Garcia fight if they get the Dillian Whyte fight. It probably won't be pay-per-view.
Look, you know, the last point I want to make is this. We keep arguing. Well, the argument really has nothing to do with WBC at this point, but we keep arguing about what Breazeale and Whyte should do. If the WBC like just finally stepped up and made this fight or sanctioned it as like, you know, the winner gets Wilder next.
They did that. They did that with Dillian Whyte and Luis Ortiz. And Dillian said, why would I face Luis Ortiz?
That's true. That's true. No, you're right. You're right. But I think in this situation, it's a bit different because the Ortiz fight, well, no, that's not true. But I don't know. Look, these guys are actually in the media saying that they fight each other. Okay, so that's one difference that we had there. But I think if they stepped in and they actually said it, then we wouldn't have all this speculation. Because even White's confused. Like, he doesn't even know what's going on with him as the number one. And, you know, supposedly Breazeale being the mandatory that's not getting called. Like, so WBC should step up, sanction the fight, and maybe we wouldn't have all this speculation.
Dillian, why didn't you fight Luis Ortiz?
No one knows him. Speaks no English.
Oh, okay.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He didn't want that nightmare, and I think that's another reason. And that's another reason why a fight like this might be harder to make for Whyte. I think in his position, you know, fighting Breazeale is a risk. You know, you get knocked off that position. You know what I mean? It's not going to look good. So it's like, is this fight even going to happen? Is it a lot of reward for Whyte?
Everybody just trying to hang on until they get that Wilder or AJ fight, man. It's fucked up.
That's what it is, bro. Nobody and this is what I'm saying. We would respect the winner and the loser more for doing this. Both men have a position. They go through each other. I like it. I like
exactly. Because I
like
could rock with Wilder Breazeale more if I knew he beat Whyte. And same thing with AJ Whyte.
Listen, some people think Breazeale is unworthy, right? And some people think Dillian is unworthy. So I could rock with both. Like, listen, right? The UK this is perfect. The UK desperately want Dillian Whyte to face Wilder, right? And we don't want that shit, right? So what better way? Now, also, the UK desperately want Dillian Whyte to face AJ. We don't want that shit. But I bet you what, we'll want one of them two a whole lot more if he went through Breazeale. We would. We just would. And we would accept Breazeale if he went through Dillian Whyte. We would. We would.
Why? Why though?
Because they need each other.
They definitely need each other. I agree with Ness. And that's the whole thing. Like, have them fight each other. Now, where is that?
I'm trying to get him to say something, but he ain't saying it.
What you
want? I know. I was a Mike was like, let's
I'm
get him,
like,
Mike.
why would you respect them more for fighting each other? Like what is the reason? Do you see them like being like, hey, nothing like, well, everything to lose, like nothing like to gain, or everything to lose and like more to gain? Like what? How do you see that?
What? They're just beating the people they're
I don't
supposed
know,
to
Mike.
beat.
All I know is that I'll be getting lost into these debates. This is the second guest we fucking forgot. Look, 10 minutes late, and Patrick Day, we forgot about Patrick Day. Yesterday, you was right, Mario. We did have Joseph Parker, trainer. He hit me up.
He hit you.
Hit me out like, yo, what happened, Mr. Gay? I'm like, man, I don't know, man. Mike is on vacation. But Patrick Day said, okay, I gave him the call-in number. You know the number, 1-425-569-5241. And we have Mr. Patrick Day on the line as we speak. Patrick, man, first and foremost, I want to thank you, obviously, for coming on the show, taking out the time to allow us to interview you. And just want to ask you how you feeling, man.
Oh, I'm feeling good, man. And, of course, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be talking to you. But I'm feeling good. I got the win last weekend, well earned, hard earned. I'm glad the judges made the right choice. And I'm just blessed to be here with a new ranking and a new belt.
Listen, man. We wanted to get you on so bad. I DM'd Lou trying to get you on before the fight. I needed to talk to you. I probably knew something that you didn't know. You were a plus 1,300, brother. Only in New Jersey on FanDuel. And obviously we do this show every freaking day. We're degenerates here. And we have a little betting show on our Patreon. And I told as many people that signed up to that Patreon that you were a plus 13. It was a glitch, bro. I watched all your fights. I know I'm from New Jersey, so I'm local to the tri-state area. I've been to BB King's numerous times, so I've watched you fight. I came back and told my co-host, like, this is it. Listen, I only wish that I was more of a gambler. I just started gambling this year because I swear I wanted to put more on you. Plus 1,300 was insane, and I was sure it was a glitch. By the time the fight started, brother, you was a minus 150. I just put the covers over my shoulder. I knew the money was coming, man. I was and then you did such a great job. You boxed beautifully. I just don't understand what the hell they was thinking. I mean, I hope you got to win some money and not just, the accolades you get for winning this fight, because you made a lot of us happy over here, brother. You boxed beautifully, and we knew you would get it. I went through your resume, and I was trying to explain to you, because a lot of these guys didn't know you haven't fought on TV. So I'm like, nah, man, listen, I know him from BB King's. He's been with Lou for a long time, but these last 4 I know Kyrone Davis. I know him from Delaware. I've been to his gym. I know his trainer. That's Stephen Edwards. That's Julian Williams. I'm like, holy shit, undefeated. He beat him too. And then I seen Edwin Ayala, tough veteran, like you unanimous decision. Him. There was a few. Eric Walker from the Contender, and I'm like, no, this is it. Put the bank on this guy, and sure enough, you fucking did it. I just want to ask you, how you feeling, man? How you feeling that you got this one? Like you said, the judges got it right, because sometimes in these situations they can steal it from you.
Yeah, sometimes they can, but the reason why I feel so good because I dedicated a lot, in this training camp. I trained through this brutal cold. I was out there in that single degree, a sub-degree wind chill, and I was grinding out there with one goal in mind. And it just feels good when, you think about something for so long and work towards it, and you get the outcome, you dreamed of. But, the reason why I had to mention the judges was because, like, I know I won the fight. I'm glad, you realized it as well. But a lot of people were like, yo, you had me stressed out, this and that. That fight was closer than it had to be. And I'm like, guys, listen, like, I know the dude was aggressive and everything, but you got to look at who's landing the clean punches, like some people score fights with their emotions, they're not being like objective and just looking to see what's happening. They're just like, getting caught up in the emotional intensity of the bout. And this guy was aggressive, you know, being rough and using roughhouse tactics and just throwing punches nonstop, but not everything was landing effectively or landing clean. So, I mean, I'm glad that the judges got it right. And I'm trying to tell people you can't just judge fights off who's going forward and who's backing up, because the guy going forward could be getting tagged up, you know?
How's it going, Mr. Day? My name is Michael Gross. Now, I didn't know much about you before this fight, but we went through your resume, and I seen Eric Walker on your resume. I was like, okay, and I seen him on the Contender, so I know how much of a fighter and a dog he was. So for you to be him, I knew you had to be a good fighter. So we watched the fight, and you did box beautifully, man. You had the guy missing, and you were landing the cleaner, more effective punches. My next question is, does Top Rank have a promotional option on you, or will you be looking for another network to possibly fight on?
To be completely honest, I don't know. I mean, you know, my promoter is Lou DiBella, and it's up to him to handle all that. My hopes are that he's doing some negotiating with Top Rank or with ESPN, so that I could be a regular fighter on ESPN Plus or even regular ESPN, because, you know, we're trying to get that bag, man. We're trying to make this money. So, and I need to be on these networks because I have the boxing ability and the skill to really sway some fans back over to boxing, you know, because a lot of people keep talking about MMA and how boxing is suffering, but they don't even know that there's fighters like me who exist and many more, you know. So I just hope that, I know that something good is going to come from my win this past weekend. And I'm going to be a regular network fighter, whether it's ESPN, ESPN Plus, DAZN, Showtime, PBC. Lou DiBella has connections with everybody, and that's my advantage. But, you know, my promoter has a big diversity in who he does business with, so I can be on any network.
Now, Patrick, hey, what's going on? This is Mario Munguia. Now, I wanted to ask you because, you know, I just like Ness said, I knew Kyron Davis. I know how talented he was. You beat him. Eric Walker, that same fight, you came in. I think it was the same type of position you were put in. I'm wondering, in your opinion, because obviously you knew that you were the man coming in these fights, right? But how do you think these fights were presented to the other fighter? Do you think that they were like, okay, you're going to get Patrick Day, we're going to come in and get this win? Like, how do you think they were presented? Because for the odds to be stacked the way they were, it's crazy. And I was trying to find, I was wondering what the odds were in the other fights, you know what I mean? Because I mean, I'm sure that they could have been betted on, but I was wondering what those odds were. I couldn't find them. But how do you think these fights are being presented to your opponents? I mean, you know, they're not telling them, obviously, he upset the apple card this time and that time and that time and this time. So what do you think it is for these other guys?
Oh, these other guys, man, they're getting caught in their sleep. It's like a bad dream after they fought me. It's like they're living a nightmare, you know, because these guys are like, when they see me, you know, and they're looking in my eyes, I see that confidence, and I could tell that they think I'm food. And in the back of my head, I'm just thinking, man, you have no clue what you're about to get yourself into. And this fight is being presented to them as, hey, this kid Patrick Day got a belt, he got a couple of big wins, but, you know, this kid is a flop, you know, he's a fluke, and he's not the real deal, man. And he's got a ranking. Let's go fight this kid and eat and take what he's got. But in reality, it's me who's eating their lunch and you know, snatching their soul, because they're over here with false confidence, like not false confidence, but like they just don't know. They're ignorant to the fact that I'm such a good fighter, you know, and that I've been tested before, suffered you know, adversity, been through obstacles and overcame that. So I mean, it's pure ignorance, no, like just to think that I'm gonna be an easy fight. Like me and my brother Mike, one thing that we have a saying is that I'm a trap fight. I'm a trap fight for anybody out there, because like, you can't judge me by my resume, because these guys just really don't know. Time and time again, these prospects keep taking the fight against me and making that mistake. Like, all right, you know, he's got 2 losses. He doesn't have that many knockouts. You know, it looks like a safe fight to me. Boom, trap fight. That's exactly what I want them to think. You know what I'm saying? Keep building up that confidence. Keeps, you know.
But isn't it a problem, though, if you keep winning these fights? I mean, aren't people going to I mean, are you afraid of being avoided at this point? Are you afraid of not getting that big fight because people are going to be like, oh man, he keeps beating people that he's not supposed to beat or that we don't think he should beat, so we're going to avoid him? I mean, you're not afraid of becoming an avoided fighter in the division?
To be honest, I'm not afraid anymore because, it's been happening all summer 2018. I was supposed to have 2 fights in at one point in 2018. There was
drop them names,
Day.
Drop them names, Day.
Yeah, I mean, I was first and foremost, I was matched up in October originally to fight Willie Nelson, former number 5 ranked WBC contender. He fought for an eliminator. He's been up there in the game, And I was really looking forward to that fight, and so was the WBC because it was a big step up for me. And Willie, 1 week before the fight, pulled out, claimed that he broke his hand, So we're like, all right, you break your hand 1 week before the fight. Like, what are you doing? Training is supposed to be pretty much over 1 week before the fight, So that was a shock. And then thank God Elvin Ayala stepped up to the plate, or else we wouldn't have had anybody to fight. But there was over the summer, man. There was a few. Terrell Gausha didn't want any parts of me. We called out Erickson Lubin, and his management wasn't too gun ho at all on taking the fight with me because everybody knows that, hey, there's some risk in fighting this guy. So I mean, I'm really not afraid of even Chris Pearson too. He's another guy who, he could still make 54, but he claims that he moved up to 60 and this and that. He doesn't want to fight, yada yada yada. So I mean, we pretty much like called out plenty of fighters over the summer, and we didn't get any matchups. So
Hey, I need you to holler at the IBF. Tell them put some respect on your name. We want your picture. We want your picture and your yo. Why they got you on number 14 with the Mexican flag and no picture, man? If you don't tell them dudes get shit right, they better.
Oh man.
Yeah, but listen, man.
Oh man.
Listen, Lou got a good relationship, like you said, with everybody, but there's a certain big fight that I think it's time, man. I mean, you on how many? It's like 7-8 fight win streak. You the underdog. You deserve a shot. And again, it'll be a trap fight. Kell Brook, Patrick Day. What you think?
I like it. I mean,
he does have power, though. He does got that power.
Kell Brook has that power. He's definitely got that right hand. So, and Kell Brook has that world-class experience. But, I mean, honestly, I like my chances against anybody in the division. And I have a chance against anybody. So, I mean, I could see myself beating anybody in the division if I'm on my A game. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
Hey, Patrick, this is Ron.
Up there.
Oh. Hey, I wanted to switch gears a little bit. You went out to Japan not too long ago, and you sparred many people out there. I just wanted to know, what was your whole experience like going over there, and who was some of the people that you were sparring out there with?
Oh, it was amazing. Well, I mean, I was sparring with just one guy, just to make that clear. I was sparring with Ryota Murata, the 2012 Olympic gold medalist, WBA middleweight, former WBA middleweight champion of the world. And, oh man, it was excellent. I mean, I got to just be in a new culture, and see how they train out there, their work ethic, their attitude on training and fighting. And I got to immerse myself in that culture. It was great. And it really helped me out, just getting out of New York and getting out of USA and just being in a new place. It really sparked a fire for me. I mean, my fire is always lit, but it's always good to just be somewhere else and learn some new things or observe a new style, because I'm a student of the game at the end of the day, and boxing is my life. So it's always good to just be able to do this, somewhere else and learn.
Now, with that being said, like you went over there and sparred an amazing fighter in Japan, but over in the States, you sparred tons of other people. Like you sparred with Danny Jacobs, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
What were those sparring sessions like?
Oh, but Danny Jacobs is like the best fighter I've been in the ring with. He's so intelligent. He's just amazing. He's a physical specimen. you know, but not only is he just a physical specimen, he's like a genius in the ring. He's so smart, slick, crafty, strong. So, I mean, sparring with him, I really got to just, you know, of course I was giving him my best in sparring, but I was also watching him and learning from him because he is the master. And Danny Jacobs is the king of New York, you know. So I was in the ring with him, and as I'm sparring him, I'm seeing some of the stuff he's doing to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like putting it in my my reservoir, you know, adding it to my bag of tricks. But I mean, I've also sparred with other great fighters like, you know, Sergey Derevyanchenko, Yevgen Hitrov. You know, I've done sparring with Luis Collazo before. You know, like anyone in New York with a name or with any type of stature, I've been in the ring with, because everybody knows in New York that I supply that work. So, you know.
How's it going, Mr. Day? Michael again. I just want to ask you, like, who do you see being like your next opponent, like to get you to that next step or like to that next level? Is there anybody like you want to call out live on TBV?
There's so many prospects out there. 154 is probably the deepest division of prospects. So this could go in so many different ways and directions. To be completely honest, I do not know. I don't have my eyes set on anybody. I don't have my eyes set on one specific boxer. I'm skilled. I'm in shape. I live a healthy life, and I'm willing to fight anybody in the top 15 at 104 pounds.
I got one for you. He's on Top Rank.
Who's that?
I believe he fought on your card too, Carlos Adames, or he fought the week before you.
Yeah, he fought a week or so before me. Yeah. That fight that'd be a great fight to make. You know, I like that fight actually. Carlos Adames. Yeah, he's ranked pretty high. You know, he has a very high ranking. He has a big punch, but yeah. I mean, I'm open to it. You know, I have no nothing, you know, against that fight. And if it can be made, then let's make it. You know, pay me the money, because you know now I'm in the top 15 and I'm gonna be fighting world-class fighters. So, you know, I want those big bucks, and I'll give the fans whatever they want to see. Like, drop a name, pay me that bread, and I'll get in that ring and fight whoever. You know what I'm saying?
So, Patrick, do you watch boxing much?
Oh, man, I watch boxing every day, all the time. I mean, not all day long, but, like, I make it a point to, you know, watch a little bit of boxing every day, whether it's footage from the 80s, the 70s, or whether it's a recent fight that just popped up in my brain that I feel like I could learn from. You know, I love studying fighters like Danny Jacobs, Terrence Crawford, you know, Mikey Garcia and Keith Thurman. Yeah, absolutely, man. He's a great fighter. You know, I just love studying guys, you know, old school guys, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. I love studying these guys.
Yo, I'm so biased. Listen, so there was a fight over the weekend, Ted Cheeseman versus Sergio Garcia. Did you watch that one? Probably not. It's UK fight, the zone.
Okay. No, I didn't see it.
But it was in your division. Ted Cheeseman was a, you know, pretty highly touted prospect. And then you got Sergio Martinez. He was a Spaniard, came out of nowhere as the underdog. 29-0, 13 KOs, and he got the upset win on Cheeseman. I was interested to see if you watched him box because, again, he wasn't expected to win, didn't have a lot of power, but boxed really well in that fight. And obviously now is a player in the division.
Okay, so I guess that's somebody or a fight I need to go back and watch myself. You know, I always try to keep my eyes open, you know, on the 154-pound neighborhood. And like who's making noise, who's a legitimate contender, who's a prospect on the rise. So I try to just, of course, you can't know every single fighter in the division. It's impossible because there's so many guys out there. But like, you know, that little neighborhood of like world class or fast rising prospect, I always try to keep my eyes on. So I'll definitely keep Sergio Garcia's name in mind. I believe he's from Spain. I know who he is. I just haven't seen him fight.
Yeah,
but I believe he's a Spaniard.
Yep. That's
okay.
him.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen his name on the WBC rankings high up there. So, I mean, any fight that can be made and that makes sense for me financially and promotional wise for Lou DiBella, you know, and that is streamed on a network, you know, because I fought so many fights, so many great fights I fought off network or off camera, you know, like the Eric Walker fight. I'm so sorry that the world missed out on that, because that was one of the best fights. And I was the one in the fight, you know what I'm saying? But when I stepped out and saw some stuff that people recorded, I'm like, man, this is one of the best fights I've ever seen. You know, and so many people were telling me that, like, yo, that was one of the best fights I've ever seen. You know, I fought in 2016, I fought a number 10 ranked WBO contender named Virgilius Stapilionis. Not many people know him, but he was a beast. And I put on a clinic, you know, against that guy. And that was one of my best performances. It was off camera. You know, Karan Davis wasn't televised in the US, but it was streamed in other countries, you know, so they were fortunate to see it. But now I'm just ready, man. I fought so many big fights off network. I'm just ready for the world to see, you know. It's time for people to find out about this secret called Patrick Day.
Hey, Patrick Day, before we let you go, I just need like 2 minutes of your time. I got like 5 questions for you that's gonna be like real quick. And since the people don't know much about you and I don't know much about you, they're gonna get a better insight on the kind of person you are and your personality.
I mean, you know.
Whoa. Let me ask the questions though. Let me ask the questions. First question is
I thought that was
pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
The first thing I do in the morning when I wake up is
that's hard, you know. Some days I'm spiritual and meditate. Other days I just roll over and grab my phone.
My favorite fighter growing up was
Sugar Ray Leonard.
If I could live in one period in time that's not this current period, it would be
1980s.
What is the final like lasting memory that you want to leave on boxing?
The final lasting memory that I want to leave on the sport of boxing is that, you know, there's great fighters out there who could provide entertaining fights, but could also, you know, influence people positively. Not all boxers are, you know, thugs or goons or gang members or you know, violent or rude, obnoxious people. You know, I'm a college graduate, you know, and I was raised well by a good family. And I'm not from the hood. I'm not from the ghetto or the slums, but that doesn't make me a punk either. I still know how to fight. And boxers, honestly, are just regular people like anybody. We just know how to fight. We love how to fight. And we have a warrior spirit in our heart. So, I mean, we're no different from anybody else. We just have that warrior spirit and that warrior identity. And we take the route that nourishes that spirit. That's all.
If you could listen to 3 albums or 3 artists for the rest of your life, they would be?
Oh, man, I know Nas would be one of them. Oh man, that's so tough, man. There's so much music genres. You know, maybe Michael Jackson, another one. And man, I'm struggling with the third one, man. Sorry.
All right, my last one is if I wasn't boxing, I would be doing what?
If I was not boxing, I would probably, because I have my bachelor's degrees in health and wellness, so I would just be showing people how to live the best life and the healthiest life possible. I would be, you know, cooking for people, helping people with stress and stress reduction, showing people how to meditate, you know, helping people exercise. I would just be putting to use my abilities as a health and wellness graduate and professional, definitely.
All right, man. Thank you for your time, bro, and we appreciate it. And thank you for winning me $300 last weekend, bro. And I don't know if you got this yet, but to this day, I'll be a fan of yours, homie.
For sure, man.
I appreciate it, man. Let them keep sleeping on me so I can, you know, keep making the underdogs and stuff some money.
Now, listen, Pat, man, we got your number now, so we'll definitely get you on as soon as you get a fight announced, and we'll get out to your gym as soon as when you get back in camp. Or you getting back into the gym, rather. Can't get in camp without a fight, but are you going, you know?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you could always get back in the gym just to polish up the tools, but I'm gonna just rest my body over these next 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna get right back in.
All right, so in 2 weeks, we'll be hitting you up, man. Stop by the gym. Patrick Day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Patrick. If you have any social media, which you do, give it out at this time for anybody not following you, can do so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at patday_all-day. Nice and simple. PATDAY_all-day. So there you go.
Thank you, Patrick. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick Day fought on ESPN over the weekend, or last weekend, rather. And, man, definitely pleased us all with a great performance. Has me looking like Nostradamus, I will say. So I'm very, very excited to see what's next, who's next.
You know,
I seen his post real quick, Myra. I seen his post before he came on the show that he said, like, DAZN, Top Rank. He put a bunch of networks, so he wants a deal. And I'm pretty sure Luke could do it. I wonder if this is another DAZN deal, though, right? Another Tevin Farmer story, a guy with 2 losses that turns it around. I mean, honestly speaking, the story that he has is better, not better. Tevin's gonna hate that. I text him today, but I'm just saying, like, his route to the top is tougher. Like, those are recognizable names. You know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't know Ishmael Levy, but that's still an undefeated prospect. You know what I mean? That was with Top Rank or wherever. But you add that up with everything else, with the Kyrone Davises and the dude from the contender, Edwin Ayala. I mean, that starts to look good. 154 too. DAZN needs 54s. Munguia needs fighters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where Lou takes him. It's like Mike said. He said, Adames, Top Rank needs 54-pounders as well, because Adames was supposed to be 47. He can't make that. He's obviously fighting at 54 now. Who else do they even got over there? But DAZN more interested with Kelbrook, Liam Smith. They have a lot, and it might be better off for Day to go that way.
Well, the one question I wanted to ask that I didn't get to, not get to, obviously I could have, but we had already had him on for a while, and I didn't want to hold y'all up anymore. But I was wondering if you wanted that Atlantis Fox get back, because that's one of his losses, right? And they fought Elvin Ayala back to back.
I think that's always there, because
it is.
Alantez is a Lou DiBella fighter, but Alantez, it's a good fight. I think so. If Lou can get him a deal on TV, and then that fight is aired on TV again,
that's a great way to put it.
But I wouldn't even take that fight. Like, that's a tough fight it is. I guess it isn't his television debut, because he just did that with ESPN. But that's a tough fight, man. Alantez is tall and rangy, and he's a bit of a boring guy, and then you're gonna have 2 boxers in there. You gotta have a guy like Ishmael Levy bringing the fight to the boxer to keep it entertaining, and to allow the boxer to do what he does best. Listen, when you ever talk to a pure boxer, they say that's what they want. Like, it plays into their style for the guy to come forward. It allows them to counterpunch more, allows them to pivot and turn more. But listen, we're going to open up these phone lines. We're going to get to all the callers, because we do got a couple of other things today. Don't forget, today is Sunday. Today is actually Thursday, but it's still Flagship Thursday, where we preview and predict this weekend's upcoming fights, all the fights. So join us at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll be back with a few more. We got a few more guests. Maybe we get Joseph Parker's trainer on again today. And, let's keep these phone lines moving. So I'll go out to a word from our sponsors. You hear my dog? Could y'all hear my dog snoring? Nah.
I don't hear him snoring at all.
But I do see these thumbs down.
I don't hear her.
These thumbs up, not up to par. So if you're listening right now on YouTube, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show. And also, Ness, do you have those promo codes for the store available or handy right now?
Nah, you're going to have to go through the pre-pro.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Going out to our mastermind in Texas. Joseph, talk to me. Oh, actually, Joseph is not ready. We go into another mastermind in Alabama.
Alabama. I want Joshua.
Joshua, come and see me, baby. No more hiding, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Hey, the leader of the new era of masterminds is here. And I just want to say, if they put Breazeale and Dillian Whyte on pay-per-view, I'm bootlegging the shit out of it.
Brother, it's pay-per-view in the UK, not over here.
Somebody said U.S. earlier.
Man,
bro.
get your brain together.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Ness said that shit, bro. Ness said it.
Ness said that. Don't let him brainwash you.
I know. I was about to say someone said that.
Stick to your gun, dog.
No,
Stick to your gun.
bro, you guys misunderstood me. If you think that Dillian
Nah,
Whyte and
nigga,
Breazeale,
you said it. I'll go get it.
No, you.
He said, "I'll go get it."
We can do it that way. Cause your big swole ass act like you don't
How
remember saying it.
about you get a better connection, man? You sound like
Don't
you
worry about my
underwater.
connection, Ness. Don't worry about my connection. Y'all cut me off. That's why I sound messed up. Because y'all niggas want to keep talking over me like y'all always do. Well, I'm on a rant. Because that's all y'all want to do is cut me off. I think it's because I'm big and I'm black. Y'all always want to take down the big and black guy. I'm the leader of the new era of masterminds. And you're going to respect me as such. All right? Remember that, Ness. All right? Because y'all be trying to I'm tired of it. All right? I ain't getting hold no more. Y'all niggas gonna respect me.
I like this new Javi.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
We ain't doing this. We ain't doing the sound bites. You gonna respect me, Ness. It's all good, baby. It's love. But I'm gonna get my love. I'm gonna get my respect. All right? You hear me? You hear me? All right? The silence mean you hear me. I mean, everybody hear me loud.
You're serious? You're serious?
I'm the leader of the new era of masterminds. All these new masterminds came along because of who? Because of me. No, it's because of me. Remember?
Trailblazer.
This is stupid.
See how you want to strong head ass motherfucker want to play sound bites and shit.
Strong head motherfucker.
Goddamn ram head motherfucker want to play sound bites. It's cool though. I'm here. Respect me as such. All right? It's all love. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, like it up though. Cut it.
No, I didn't want to cut Javi off, but real talk, shout out to Javi who went to the UK. Well, he didn't go to the UK. I guess his broadband went to the UK and took on Elms and beat that ass 19 times in a row. He beat him. No, I was playing. They fought 19 times at Fight Night Champions. Beat him. It was dope. Yeah,
Hey,
so it was a good win. I'm gonna have to take that belt from him though.
Do these codes have like cuss words in them?
What?
I mean, I'm looking at it. It's like,
oh my goodness,
stars and shit.
I don't know, but
What is he talking about, man? We going out to Rick. Talk to me.
Yo, what's up?
What up, Rick?
What's going on, ATL in the morning? Hey, I'm just ready to hear some of these fights get made, man. I'm tired of waiting around for this shit. We know Wilder and Fury is probably going to happen, so Joshua's going to fight Miller. Okay, I'm cool with that. But let's just get White a damn fight. And this little bum card they're working on, I hate calling bums. Parker's good, but, you know, Brown versus whoever and Chisora versus Parker, I'm all down for that. Let's just get some fights happening. And if I'm Dominic Breazeale, I don't really want to fight Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? That's dangerous. So that's where I'm at, guys. Neff, hope the Bulldog's good. Mike, keep smoking. Y'all have a good day. That's my call.
Rick, man, thank you, man. She's doing fine. Thanks for asking. We're going to keep the lines moving. Noah, Cali, wake up with us. What it do?
What up, Noah?
Noah.
Gotta unmute, Noah. Gotta unmute.
Noah. All right. So we'll go to Boomeranger in the Nolia. N-O.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you a young fella, and he comes from the Magnolia.
Look, check this out, you heard me? Oh, T said he want that smoke. You dig? He said he'll drop all this fight that he got lined up right now. and line up. He tired of people putting his name in his mouth and not getting him in the fight. He gonna take whatever money they throwing at him. I know all y'all heard that shit. That shit, one of these cats step up and fight on TV before the man 45 years old, man.
Easy to say that with a fight, man. Tell Ortiz be out, man. I text his manager.
He said to get back out. He said to get back out.
He can back out, man. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. That sounds like some duck shit.
So Ness, you ain't never heard of nobody bagging out a
Actually,
a
no.
trash fight.
Actually, no. Actually, I can't remember one. Help us.
Man, look, bro. I can't remember what the top of my head too, but we got hold on. That's why you call it boxing voice, right? That's why you call it boxing voice.
Hey, bro, I'm just keeping
Devin Chinko did it. Just did it on the Jamal Charlo card. He had a fight on that card, but he pulled out to get a better fight, and he fought Jamal Charlo.
Who? Dervinchenko.
Not Dervinchenko, but the fucking what's the guy's name? Korbach. Fucking, I don't fucking know, bro. Korobov. There we go.
It don't count when you were off.
What you mean?
It don't count when you were off TV fighter, nigga. Getting bumped up is different than being an on TV fighter, man.
Oh, okay.
Boomerang status. We gotta go to my another boomeranger.
To this day. Take along if you know the words. Come on.
Hey man, that shit fire, bro.
Yo.
KO, what it do, baby?
Yeah. What you like saying? Listen, if they put that pay-per-view in America, nobody's gonna watch it from the UK. Next, just get that straight. No one is gonna be up watching Dillian Whyte from
according to
UK.
you.
I thought. Well, trust me, I'm telling you now. I don't know any UK fans that will watch the fight. The other thing is, like
all of them,
the WBC, they be messing up with these mandatories. I mean, I think you were the one that was comparing the WBC mandatory with the IBF. But you know, the IBF, they're very strict with their mandatories. WBC, they make up the rules, whatever. So like,
agreed.
Like even Fury is a mandatory, and that just came out of nowhere. So that's the thing about White and the White scenario.
Yeah, but the thing with the WBC is that they deal with public demand and public perception. So that's why the Wilder thing happened, just like that's why the Triple G Canelo thing happened. Like they force the situations that the public wants. They force the good fights. There is some bullshit. They do bullshit just like all of them, but you know they force the good fights. They're the ones forcing Charlo Triple G. Like wherever Triple G, that's why Triple G ain't making an announcement yet, because he still got to get that ass up to Charlo.
Well, I hear that, but those guys are fiction. I prefer the IBF. They're very strict with the regime.
Cut it. Joseph, Texas, Mastermind. What up?
What up, Joseph?
Yeah, I just wanted to actually back up Mrs. point from earlier. The UK people will buy the fight if it's taped in the UK. And to kind of go against what Ron said earlier.
How you gonna do a yes coming from a damn American? Come on, man. You biased, bro.
That came to see Ricky. They didn't come to see Mayweather. What people forget is, even though he came off the De La Hoya fight and it made him a bigger star, what made Mayweather the biggest star was when he retired. You know, he still only did 900 with Haddon. But those times were there for Haddon. Haddon was a big icon. It was undefeated versus undefeated.
Just to interrupt real quick, it wasn't Mayweather. It was Ricky Haddon versus Mayweather. That's the whole spectacle.
Oh, I understand, but those 30,000
Joseph
would have traveled for Ricky Haddon regardless at the time.
Yeah.
Boxing at the end of 2007 was still Oscar De La Hoya. You know, don't forget, a year later he did 1.2 with Manny Pacquiao, who wasn't a household name yet.
Ricky Haddon versus Mayweather did way better than Ricky Haddon versus Paulie Malignaggi for obvious reasons.
Yes, obviously, yeah, it did. But what I'm saying is at the time, Paulie Malignaggi also wasn't undefeated. It was undefeated versus undefeated. But what made Mayweather a bigger star was his retirement and the emergence of Pacquiao, that's when we started having all the comparison fights. But as far as the Brazil situation, I agree. I don't go anywhere else to a fight. I think he does have leverage. And if I'm him, I'm sitting down waiting on my WBC title shot. Because why risk losing it if you got to wait a little bit? All good things come to those who wait. You know, that's the saying I was always taught. Cut it. But that's my comment.
Cut it. Joseph, do us a favor, B. You got to invest in some headphones, bro. You over there like you inside of a warehouse while they're like...
So the nigga was in a goddamn igloo or something. That motherfucker sound like...
Building an igloo? What does that sound like, Mike?
I don't fucking know. I know it sounds bad. Shit.
Igloo? What is your mind today?
Yo, let me Google what building an igloo
I'm back, baby.
Like.
I'm back.
You got a YouTube what building an igloo sounds like.
Y'all ain't never been in an igloo?
Nah.
I've been in one.
Been in
like a real one. Like, it was like a plastic igloo.
Yo, Mike.
Had my head in the freezer, like for a little bit.
Warehouse.
Yo, we're going to New Orleans, right? New Orleans. We got a new number in the New Orleans. First time caller, 504-417. What up? Who's this?
Yep.
What up? 514?
You can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. What's your name?
I just have to switch my number. I'm from Southside, man.
Southside?
Yeah, but I just got to, Southside Jamaica, man.
Southside Jamaica.
Okay. Quick question. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's your name?
Fly Paper. I called
Fly
before,
Paper.
like twice.
All right, what's good? Man.
But I got this. We got the Miller and Joshua fight. I think that's a decent fight. We got the Fury Wilder fight. I think that's a dope fight. Now we got the Breazeale Whyte fight. Dope. What about Ortiz and Povetkin? How y'all feel about that? I think that's a great fight.
I'll take it, but Ortiz decided to
Tied up.
push the hammer on some whack shit.
That would be a good fight, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like Ortiz did the dumb shit. He walked the plank all early.
You know what? He was kind of I'm pretty thinking he went low. But yo, thanks for the call. I appreciate y'all fellas, man. Keep it up.
All right, bro.
I heard the bell ring.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't for you. That was actually starting. And you could go ahead. We got it running. Go ahead. Finish up.
Fly Paper.
No, that's all I want to say. I
all
think Povetkin and White to be a great fucking fight, man.
Well, you the man, man. You the man. And guess what? We got the new list, so your name is down. We won't forget it. Fly Paper. Shout out to Ashley in the background. Yeah, so we up out of here. We're going to come back with another one for you guys. We got a lot of news to talk about. Plus, we got a flagship, and we have Patreon comment creeping Thursdays. I still want to do Amir Khan versus Lamont Peterson. It's all relevant. Peterson's fighting in Washington, D.C. at the MGM Harbor. We might have a new DC correspondent. We got him out here working, trying to see could he get his skills up. Ron out there killing shit. Ron, I mean, on the outro, let us know how your experience was at Big Baby's gym. Yeah, but in the meantime, I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO.
Yo, what's going on? You can find me at Ron G FIQ. Look, covering all these gyms and fights and everything during the week. It's pretty cool because you get to understand the perspective that the trainers go through, the fighters go through off camera. There's a lot of off camera stuff that you think is going on from standing outside watching, reading articles, being just dissecting and just using common sense that you would never believe what's really going on, and the struggles that these guys go through, let alone the fact of how wrong you are, like how consistently that you are wrong just by just assuming things. So we'll be putting up a whole bunch of videos out, but if you have never went out to a gym, talk to a trainer firsthand, just go out there as a fan. Just go out there, talk to them one-on-one and just not assume things, and you'll learn a lot more. And also, it would also help your point more because if you are right, you can validate with true stories and talking directly to these guys. But yeah.
And if you don't have the time or you live in another country or another state, you can just head on over to ThaBoxingvoice.com/videos and check out all the videos of all the gyms we get into. And this week, I mean, this month has been a fantastic month for the Boxing Voice. We have put out just hundreds of dozens, okay, of videos. So definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel right here at youtube.com/TheBoxingVoice. Help us get to 100,000. We're really close to 96,000. It looks like we're at 95,976. So we need less than 30 people to get us to the promised land of 96,000. So it would be great if you can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to come over here and subscribe. Check out a brand new interview with Eddie Hearn and Jack is the Truth, our very own from the UK. You can check out interviews with our very own mastermind, Javier, getting his feet wet in Alabama, going straight to the home of Deontay Wilder over there at the New Era Boxing Gym, as it's being called now, under the tutelage of Demarius, Coach Hill, and he's got interviews with Dion Nicholson, Raphael Murphy, and more to come. He's heading out there Friday again. He'll be covering Dion's fight. Dion's a WBC sort of interim intercontinental cruiserweight champ. So he's moving up the rankings, and he's alleged to have a big punch. Javier's going to let us know firsthand, as all his fights have not been televised. But we are desperately working. New heavyweight prospect, Sonny Canto from Philadelphia. A lot of footage on him on our channel right now. We're going to be following that career very closely. We finally got footage of Darmani Rock, another U.S.-American heavyweight from Philadelphia. Trains out of that Fred Jenkins Sr. gym. You know, Fred Jenkins Sr. trained Brian Jennings, Jesse Hart, Marcel Rivers, Damani Rock. So, yeah, man, a lot of stuff. Ron hasn't even put up his stuff from that media workout. I mean, I think he put out a few things.
I got so much stuff.
I know. I'm sure you're swamped, man. You might have to send something to Mike over there, man. You don't want to be too backed up. You might end. I mean, right now you're good. You don't have a fight coming up that you're gonna cover, right? There's nothing in New York.
Correct.
Yeah, so you're good.
But I'm definitely gonna have to search on some Mike. I'm gonna have to soon enough, man. Mike gonna be real busy. He gonna have the whole everyone. Jay Hardcore was sending stuff in too. So
yeah.
Javier's being big real quick.
He get back in on the next one, baby. The outro, we out, baby. We out. Waiting on you to say your social media. We were dropping all our last drops, you know, the calls to action, but we coming back with another one. As he knows, we want to do 3 today, and that's outside of Flagship. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry. I want to eat. Mike,
just a little bit. My coffee's still in the coffee cup in the kitchen.
I want to eat. There's shows to be made out. There's shows to get done. Mike Duff.
1911. Grouse 1911 on IG or Grouse 2312 on Twitter.
Yo, why didn't you disrespect Patrick Day like that with that Mexican flag? And
that was hilarious, yo. Mike though, Mike had me laughing so bad though. Yo, Mike, y'all should have just seen his comments. They were fucking hilarious.
They need to handle
on Instagram and Twitter. Peace.
Catch me on at 1 o'clock. Alex _Doomsday Linus and Patreon, yes, at 1 o'clock.
Do say comment creeping, man. That Jack interview got some comments that we gonna be creeping on for sure. Do say, peace.